Sorcery is the only film I was able to get an online screen or two from Sundance. I'll be more on top of it next year, I promise. And the film is directed by Christopher Murray and stars Valentina Veliz Calio, Daniel Antivilo, and Sebastian Hulk. On the remote island of Chiloé in the late 19th century, an indigenous girl named Rosa lives and works with her father on a farm. When the foreman brutally turns on Rosa's father, she sets out for justice, seeking help from the king of a powerful organization of sorcerers. I went into Sorcery very intrigued, but not quite sure what to expect. From the trailer, you can see how beautiful the landscape is, and the movie takes full advantage of that, with some creative and memorable wide shots. That's really the area where the film excels. It's so moody and such a pleasure to look at. The symbolism and imagery that's weaved throughout the movie tells its own story, and at times it's even more interesting than scenes involving people. Because what Sorcery does well is in its ability to cast a grim, ominous shadow upon a beautiful landscape, while at the same time finding a way to crawl under your skin with a few simple yet undoubtedly creepy shots. But unfortunately, I don't think the most meticulously pleasing shots can make up for story and pacing issues. What's really weird about Sorcery is that it feels the need to skip its foundation. At the beginning of the film, we're rushed through the events that set the groundwork for our main character's convictions. With the whole rest of the movie relying on that portion of the film, I thought it was a really odd choice. It made it difficult to care about what's going on during or after the first act because the movie never really gives you a reason to. What makes the pacing even stranger is that it slows down considerably in the second and third acts, right where I think it needed a little pick-me-up. It's extremely noticeable because of the stark contrast between the first and second acts, making Sorcery come off as disjointed and shallow despite hosting some powerful themes of colonialism and persecution and a very intriguing setting. Despite all of that, the way that the actual magic in Sorcery is handled is very clever. Nothing is directly shown, making the world feel more realistic, but at the same time, it implies that the magic is absolutely real. In a different movie, I think this would have felt like a wiser choice, but it's hard to get excited about when the rest of the film doesn't exactly cultivate this clever idea. As far as the performances, I feel bad for saying this, but it doesn't help that some of the acting didn't exactly sell me on the film either. Valentina Calio's character Rosa has a lot of emotion to convey to the audience. It's her conviction and perseverance in the face of unjust persecution that is the driving force for the entire movie to happen. Yet I feel like her character had one emotion the entire movie. At key moments, I almost thought she was laughing when she should have been crying, so not only was it not necessarily a groundbreaking performance, but it was even a little bit jarring at times. I know she's young, and as far as I could see, this was her first film, so I'm sorry for critiquing. I can definitely see potential, but this just wasn't it. The supporting cast definitely did the best they could with what they had to work with. Daniel Antivilo was a standout as Mateo, delivering a powerful and refreshing performance. His relationship with Rosa made for some of the best scenes in the film. There were a couple other supporting actors that stood out to me, especially in the trial scenes, that I thought did a really good job as well. Overall, I feel bad for speaking so negatively about this movie because I can tell that care and dedication went into making it, and in all fairness, I can see a lot of people loving Sorcery. It's one of those movies that does almost everything technically right while feeling very inspired and artsy, but as much as I love those kind of movies, this film says a lot while saying so little. I feel like underneath this theatrical release, there's a director's cut somewhere that could greatly improve this movie, and I feel that way because the bones are there for something really special. At the end of the day, if you're a fan of dark time period movies with a supernatural twist that moves slow and methodically, then you might enjoy Sorcery. But I think for the majority of audiences, your thoughts may align with mine. Thank you guys as always for watching. Next year, I promise to see more Sundance films and hopefully actually get to go to the film festival. That would be amazing. And I'll be sure to review as many as I can on this channel. Anyway, see ya.